Hi there, and welcome to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you Algebra 1. And in this video, we're going to be moving on with lesson number 4 in chapter 3, where we're going to be creating and solving linear inequalities. And in this lesson, we're going to practice setting up inequalities from real-life scenarios. This will lead us into graphically representing these inequalities in our next lesson. So at this point, we're going to just take a look at exercise number 1. We're just going to be setting up the inequalities before we get to graphing them in our next lesson. So in exercise number 1, we have a construction worker earns $53 per hour. Key information right there, especially with this keyword of per. She buys lunch off of the lunch truck for $12 each day. Okay, she's buying for $12 each day. How many hours must she work in order to earn more than $360 each day after paying for lunch? Okay, so now this problem is all in relation to one day. So at this point, we want to set up an inequality to represent all of this information. So every hour she works in that day, she's getting $53. So we're going to set up the first part of our inequality by saying that $53 for every hour she works. We don't know how many hours she's working, but that's what we need to figure out, how many hours she must work. So there's our variable x to represent the number of hours worked. Now, after she makes this money, she also has to buy lunch once a day for the same amount every day. She buys lunch for $12, so she's spending $12. She's got to subtract that from the amount she's made. So let's subtract $12, and it says each day, but that's just for one day, this equation that we're setting up right here, this inequality. So we really only have to subtract it once, because she's only buying lunch once per day. And now we want to know how many hours she must work in order to earn more than. How can I write more than as an inequality? And it has to be more than $360. Okay, that means this amount has to be more than $360. And now we can figure this out by isolating x and solving for x to determine the number of hours she must work. So we're going to add 12 to both sides of our inequality here. And we're going to get 53x is greater than 372. And 372 then we're going to divide by 53. And we're going to get an answer of x is greater than 7.01886679. All right, and it goes on forever there. It's irrational. And how many hours must she work then? If the number of hours has to be greater than 7, we're going to assume that she only works whole number hours. So the number of hours she must work is 8 hours, because you have to round up, because at 7 hours, she'll be very, very close to earning $360. But she won't be quite there. So she has to work 8 hours in the day in order to make the $360 per day. Okay, that's all for exercise number 1. And if this first exercise on setting up a linear inequality and then solving it was helpful, give it a thumbs up. And now move on to exercise number 2 by clicking on the link in the video. Thank you for watching.